Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Gage Young, one of the main faces of Fighting Alliance Championship. Hello, Gage. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, brother?
I'm good, thanks. Gage, you actually in your last performance you defeated a very good fighter overall, who is a Bellator veteran. So, if you can tell me, what do you think about this performance, and what do you think should be next for you?
Yeah, man. I think we game planned really well for that fight. Manny Murrow's a tough vet of the game. Bellator vet, fought a lot of tough guys. So I felt like it was a good next step. We went in there, we executed the game plan perfect. Rested a little more, and then found the finishing shot with the right hand. So overall, I said it went really well. As far as what's for next, who knows? We could be fighting in the big show. Kind of waiting to hear from my management on everything right now. So it's kind of a toss up. If we do fight outside of the UFC, it'll probably be like one more, and then we'll sign the contract. I'm not in a big rush, I'm still young, so by the time we get there, we'll be ready.
Yes, and actually your two last opponents were like Bellator fighter, because also Bobby Lee fought for the Bellator, and Manny Muro was like 4-1 in organization, and you beat him. So it's like probably your place should be in one of these bigger organizations.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, Bobby Lee was a big eye opener for me, a big test. Yeah, we'll get that one back.
And before your last fight, did you feel some additional stress because you come in from your first loss, or was it like another fight for you?
No, it was really no stress at all. It was kind of weird in the back how just at peace I was with everything. I didn't really care about winning or losing. It was just like I'm just gonna go in here and fight, make it like the gym. Don't make it something it's not. You know what I'm saying? I went in there super calm, took all the energy in, and I was super present that whole fight. I was implementing my game plan. I was thinking. I was reacting. So yeah, I think the preparation for the fight really helps with the emotions that you have in the back. You know what I'm saying?
And if you have one more fight in the promotion, is there a chance that it will be for the lightweight title?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what's up. I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time. I'm in the middle of transitioning right now. Kind of, we're about to move states, so we're moving out of Missouri. We're gonna go to Colorado to Factory X and try to settle down there. Just be at a bigger gym with better bodies and a system. You know what I mean? Kansas City MMA is kind of, it's not what it used to be after the whole situation happened, and I feel like I'm starting to kind of outgrow the gym I'm at right now, and I'm ready to see some new bodies and a bigger environment. You know what I mean?
So big changes will happen in next few months.
Big changes, man. Yeah, my lease is up on October 3rd, so we're creeping up on it. We're less than a month away from having to make the move, and we're just looking for apartments and stuff now. So it's kind of a stressful time. I'm not really thinking too much about fighting. I'm thinking more along the lines of like life and life problems, and just trying to get my life situated to where I can like start putting together another good camp for another fight. You know what I'm saying?
And if we can talk a little bit about your beginnings in the sport, was it the MMA, the first combat sport that you ever trained, or you started with another discipline?
So I started wrestling whenever I was really young. I was wrestling like whenever I was 13, 14, 13-ish, somewhere in there. But I've been wrestling for a long time. Um, I was originally a football player. Like I really liked football, and I thought football was going to be what I did with my life. And that didn't really work out. So I'd been wrestling since I was young. I started kickboxing when I was 16 years old. When college didn't work out the way I wanted it to work, I kind of got in a limbo where I was kind of stuck, not really growing or doing anything. And so I figured I'd take the wrestling skills that I had and then the kickboxing skills that I had and mesh the two together and start doing MMA. So where I'm at, you can't fight MMA until you're 18. And so the week after I turned 18, I had my first MMA fight. I was just doing kickboxing matches and jiu-jitsu tournaments up until then. And then right as soon as I was able to do MMA, I just jumped into it, you know.
And according to topology, you have a like one kickboxing fight, and were it like more of these kind of fights in kickboxing, or is it one off?
I think I have maybe one professional kickboxing that happened, and that might be on my record. But I had a few amateur fights that I did in the cage just to get used to what it feels like walking into the cage. I didn't know. I had kind of always planned like MMA was going to be something that I tried to do. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know if it was going to stick. But as soon as I won my first MMA fight, it was just it took me over. That was what I was doing, 100%. You know.
And you are actually much more experienced than at first look, because you are not just a 6-1 guy, but you also like have like 8 amateur bouts in MMA according to
Yeah.
topology. So it's not that you just started this like journey with the sport.
Yeah, I'm a young guy, but I feel like a veteran of the game. You know what I mean? I feel like I've experienced what it is to fight. I know what a fight camp is supposed to feel like. I know I'm starting to navigate my brain a little better and deal with the emotions. And yeah, I'm just getting more pieces of the puzzle on the board, and I'm just everything's starting to click. You know, I'm feeling like I'm real close to being ready to take that next step, whether it's the next fight or the fight after that. It's one or two away, you know. So I'm just getting everything right, getting my body right, getting my mind ready. So I'm ready for whatever's coming my way, man.
And do you have a like favorite part of the training right now? Because you came from wrestling, and is it a wrestling the favorite part of the training right now, or you prefer to do like jiu-jitsu or like strike?
I really love the game of mixed martial arts. There's not a part of MMA that I don't love. My favorite, the most fun to me, the thing that comes most naturally is probably kickboxing, just because I feel like I have, you know, like a talent for that. I feel like it kind of comes naturally to me. Wrestling always sucks. I hate wrestling, but it's a big part of the game. And, it's hard on the body. It's hard on the gas tank. After this last fight with Manny Murrow, I've really been locking in on my submission offense. I feel like my submission defense has really grown a lot. My wrestling's already there. But being able to threaten submissions offensively, I feel like is something that I'm lacking in. And so after this fight, that's kind of where I've been putting most of my brain work in, and most of the gym work has been on just like trying to organize a system for my submission game. And I'm trying to. So recently, it's been a lot of jujitsu, to be honest.
So in next fights, it will be like rear naked, then guillotine, and maybe omoplata.
Hey, maybe if they want it that way, they can get it that way. The plan is always to put these guys to sleep. I feel like knockouts really sell. If I can keep knocking these guys out, the UFC is going to be more attracted to me. My highlight reel is going to come together better. The more eyes are going to come to me. People love to see people get knocked out, and I have legit one punch power. So whenever I got the confidence behind my right hand and my skills on my feet, like that's whenever bodies started to fall. So the plan is always to knock these guys out. I'm not looking to submit these guys. I'm looking to put this right hand on their chin.
And you already have like few good knockouts in this 6 fights. So it's like good to good. It was good to see your striking like with David Evans, especially. It was a beautiful knockout, and. And you already in the 6 fights have like two very good names in David Evans and Manemuro. So it's like
Yeah.
it's also not the 6 fights with like no names or journeymans, but also with the good fighters.
Yeah, that was always a big thing for me. A lot of times I look at these guys' records, and then you see they haven't fought anybody. They haven't fought anybody with good records. Or so the fight, like taking the right fight was always pretty important to me and my team. And after I lost that fight to Bobby Lee, they offered me an easier fight. They offered me like an easy guy, not an easy guy, but like an easier guy. a guy that I was pretty confident I would beat. And I was like, man, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to lose a fight and then come back and beat up some tomato can. Like, I'm looking to fight good guys. And because for me, that's what helps my brain. It's what gives me confidence. If I beat up a guy up that I know I'm supposed to beat, I don't feel good about that. But if I beat a guy up that I'm a little bit scared of and I know he has a good record and he's fought good guys, then that win means a little bit more to me, and it does a little bit more for my confidence up top, you know.
And for now, who do you think would be like the toughest stylistically matchup for you? Some good grappler who can submit you from his back, or some other type of the opponent?
As far as styles go, man, I'm pretty well rounded. I can strike with anybody, I can wrestle with anybody, and I'm getting the confidence in my jiu-jitsu game. I feel like stylistically a tough fight for me right now would probably be like a big pressure fighter, like a guy that wants to put me on my back foot and try to get in my face and make it ugly. Somebody who's really good at putting the pressure on and is also well rounded and can threaten the takedown. I feel like the toughest matchup for me is going to be a guy that can kind of mix everything together really well. So if he can mix the striking and the takedowns together really well, that might give me a bit of a problem. But I'm conscious of that. You know what I'm saying? I know my style. I know what kind of style I do well against. I know what kind of style will have the upper hand on me, and I know how to negate these things. I can make changes on the fly. I can make changes in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Training preparation. I can prepare for any one style. So I really feel like I got all the boxes checked, man. If I'm fighting a jiu-jitsu guy, I know how to train for him. If I'm fighting a striker, I know how to train for him. If I'm fighting a guy that's really well-rounded, like it's just like I'm confident everywhere in the game. So whatever these guys want to do, man, I'll be ready for it.
And let's say in next 12 months, from September to September next year, how many fights would you like to have in this time?
I'm usually a 4 fight a year kind of guy, 3 fight a year kind of guy. I like to stay pretty active. I am young though, so I just turned 23, and I feel like I'm about to make that next step to the big show. And by the time I get to the big show, matchups are going to be important. And so just accepting the right fight at the right time against the right guy is going to be big. You know what I'm saying? I want to play the game the right way. I want to do it the right way. You know, I don't want to be like a meathead fighter, but I also don't want to be like a scared fighter. So I'm trying to find like the middle ground. I'm not afraid to take fights that are bad matchups. Don't get me wrong. But if we can get a better matchup earlier on to just get that the experience in, you know what I mean? I think that's always going to be better. But whatever the management tells me, man, they send me a name. I tell them yes. I tell them no. I talk it over with the coaches, and we come together to an agreement like that, you know?
And like you said, you are right now a young fighter, and there was a case in UFC, Raul Rosas, who was signed when he was 18. And let's say that when you were 18, and let's say that you had 5 fights, would you be interested in going to the UFC being such a young fighter, or would you prefer to stay on the regional scene?
Me personally, no. So the UFC actually offered me a contract whenever I knocked out David Evans whenever I was 21. I turned the contract down because I felt like I was too young, and I feel like there was still room to grow, and I still needed a little bit more experience at the professional level. And you know, I got another knockout after I fought David Evans, and then I fought a really tough guy in Bobby Lee, and I learned a lot from that fight. Like I lost that fight against a vet, a Bellator vet, a good fighter, well-rounded guy, big old strong boy. He's really good fighter, and yeah, just fighting another guy who had all that experience really like helped level me up. Like I feel like even though I lost that fight, I learned a lot, and like I kind of seen another level of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I felt a higher level of the game, and then implemented that in the next fight I had against Manny Murrow, and it worked great. You know?
Yes, and UFC contract can be like tempting when you are a young fighter, but I believe that sometimes it's better to get this experience not in the UFC, because you can lose some fights, like get a knockout and being like mentally maybe not beat but have some problems. But better
Right.
is to stay on the regional scene and like fought the better like level of the opposition there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like whenever you go to the UFC, I've seen it happen to a lot of like my friends and former teammates. They get to the UFC, they're doing the UFC a favor. They'll take a tough fight. They'll take a tough matchup on short notice. They'll show up. They'll lose, and they sign like a 3-fight contract. They fight again, and then like even if they win or lose, I've seen teammates get cut after fighting 2 times, and they're like taking the fight on short notice, doing the UFC a favor, and it's just like I don't want to be the guy that signs to the UFC, runs a couple fights, and then gets cut. Like I've seen that story, and I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that gets there, gets a couple big knockouts, gets a couple extra checks, and then I can renegotiate my contracts. And I'm looking to climb the ranks. I'm looking to be one of the best in the world. And I think if I want to be the best in the world, I can't only be smart in my heart and like I can't be a warrior. I have to also be smart in my brain, and like I have to be a thinking man. This is a thinking game. This is a business, and I just want to play the game the right way. You know what I mean? And I feel like that means taking a little bit of time. The hard part for me is not getting to the UFC. I could get to the UFC. I've had multiple opportunities to get there. The hard part about the UFC is getting there and having staying power. So by the time I get signed, I just want to know in my heart and in my soul that like I'm ready to be there and I'm competing with these guys.
And what is like the main goal for you as far as the MMA? Would you like to be in the like, of course not the UFC, but maybe in the top 15 rankings? Do you like dream of being a champion, defending champion?
So that's a good question, man. It's something I kind of been going back and forth in my head about. I have a lot of respect for world champions, and a lot of people run around in the gyms and they throw that term around. You're going to be a world champ. He's going to be a world champ. You're going to be a world champ. It's kind of a disrespect to the world champions, man. That is a hard thing to accomplish, and I know the kind of work that goes behind that, and I know how hard it is to get there, especially at lightweight, being a 55er. Um, the big thing I want from fighting is financial freedom. I want to be free financially. I want to be able to do what I love as a job, and not have to stress about like life and like paying bills, and like I just want to have enough money to do what I love to do and know that my bills are going to be taken care of. So for me, man, as long as the money's right, I don't care. I don't care. The rankings, the contracts, the champions, like it is what it is. Like the money's the most important thing to me. So yeah, man, I feel like I definitely want to see a number next to my name before it's all said and done. If I could see a top 15, top 10, I'd be a happy man. But also at the same time, I feel like if I could see 15, I could see 10. And if I can see 10, I can see 5. And if I can see 5, I could be the world champion. That's just the way my head works. So I'm just going to take it one fight at a time. I'm going to get there. I'm going to feel the competition out, and, we'll go from there. We're going to take it one fight at a time and just keep my head where it's at.
Yes, and about the financial freedom, also the performance of the night money will help, and then you have this few interesting knockouts. So I think that when you will be there, you will get also money from the performance of the night.
Yeah, 100%, man. My first fight in the UFC, it'll be a knockout, and I'll get that $50,000 bonus. I'll get all 3 checks. I'll get the weight check, I'll get the win check, and I'll get the bonus check, because that's just what it is. Every time I fight, I plan on trying to fight for that $50,000 check. I'll go in there and I'll sacrifice my body to try and get that. And if it doesn't work out, man, it doesn't work out. But as far as like where my brain is, every time I'm fighting, I'm gonna get that check. I'm gonna get that $50,000 check because I'm gonna show up to fight. So.
And in the future, do you consider going to welterweight division?
No, not welterweight. No way. I'm a. So I made 45 a little bit. I made 45 like once or twice as a younger guy, and it was a struggle, man. It was really hard to make 45, and I'm kind of growing up. Just turned 23. I'm starting to get a little bit more meat on my bones. 55 starting to feel like a real weight cut, but I feel like as long as I'm disciplined outside the gym and outside of fight camp with my diet and I keep my weight low, keep the water in me, that I should be able to make 55 for the rest of my career, no problem. Um, but we'll see, man. I'm still growing up. I'm still young, so I might end up putting some more weight on. But the jump from 55 to 70 is really big. It's not. It's not a 10-pound jump. It's a 15-pound jump. So, um, yeah, I'll probably try to avoid the welterweight. I seen one of my teammates, Evan Elder. He took a short notice fight against uh in the UFC against a 170 pounder. And Evan Elder's a big 55er, and there was a significant size difference in between him and his opponent. So yeah, welterweight scares me. I'll let those guys handle their business up there. I'll keep cutting 55.
And do you have a fighter in the UFC that you like to watch and maybe like pick some things from him?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of guys, man. I'm doing film study all the time. I'm big on Corey Sandhagen right now. I really like Corey Sandhagen. I like the way he operates. I think his style uh, is similar to mine, and I really like what he's been doing recently with like mixing in the takedowns, and his stand up is some of the best stand up in the game right now. And I feel like because he's adding that threat of the takedown, that the hands and the kicks and the knees and the elbows, they're opening up a lot more because these guys are worried about the fit in. So I've been watching a lot of Corey Sandhagen. I've been watching Benoit Saint Denis. You see that 55er just fought this last weekend. He just beat up on Thiago Moises. That guy's good. I've been watching a little bit of his stuff. Yeah, man, I'm just a student of the game. Jack Della Maddalena. I'm watching all these guys. I know these guys are 170s, but yeah, man, I'm studying the game every day. So there's a lot of guys I'm watching.
Yes, and actually Benoit Saint-Denis like make his UFC debut in a welterweight division, and he lost. But now in lightweight, he's like 4 wins, 4 finishes, 4 great performances. So it's like welterweight was not class for him, but lightweight
Yeah,
is definitely is.
he's a big lightweight, man. He's a big lightweight, and he's a dirty southpaw. I hate southpaws. So, but yeah, he's got some skill, man. He's good.
And because you are right now, you are an MMA fighter for like a few years. Do you have any regrets regarding maybe training, maybe when you done some things? Is there any like thing that you regret?
Nah, man, I don't really regret anything. I feel like I've done the right things in the right order. The the whole gym situation in Kansas City, I didn't really have any part to do with that, but it was definitely something that affected us, and I've had to go through, it has impacted my life. So if there's one thing I had to say I regret, I would regret just like how my team and my coaches and how just everybody went about that whole situation in Kansas City with FBI shutting our gym down and stuff.
And if you can tell me one thing that is like the main motivator for you as far as the training and fighting in MMA.
I'm sorry, one more time. What's the main motivator and what?
In training and fighting in MMA.
The main motivator in training is knowing that I'm gonna have a fight coming up. I'm gonna have competition coming up, so I need to take the training serious. I need to show up and be present, and I need to, show up as a white belt every day, look to learn new things and try new things, and show up with an open mind and open heart. Um, yeah. What was the question about the fight again? I'm sorry.
What is like the main motivator in training?
The motivator, yeah. As far as like fighting in general, like I just feel like I started this game so young. I'm up to my chest in the water. Like I'm in the deep end already in the fight game. I'm a young kid. I know that if I didn't want to fight anymore, I'm a smart individual. Anything I put my mind to, I'll be successful in. I think this is just my life path, man. I think this is just what is set for me. I feel like God, the universe, whatever, is pushing me in this direction, and I'm having success, and I have fulfillment. I feel fulfilled, in my heart whenever I fight, and I'm training for camps, and I'm sacrificing, and I'm not getting the payout yet, but the payout's coming. And so I'm just trying to stay the course, man. I'm already in the deep end. There's no point in getting out of the pool now. I might as well just run it until I can't run no more. You feel me?
Yes, like from the fans' perspective, it's definitely not reason to not fighting when we can like watch you. So it's
Yeah,
definitely you will be there in like few months or years in this like the highest level of the like promotional level. Oh,
yeah. We'll get there. There's no doubt in my mind that I'll be there. It's just I want to get there, and I want to be ready for it, and I will be. The main thing right now is just getting my life situation figured out. My training situation isn't the best, but within the next month or two, man, I'll be at a world class gym with world class coaches, with world class training partners, with a world class system, and then yeah, it's gonna turn me to a monster, and I'm gonna be ready to take over the game.
and before your fights, how do you deal with the stress?
Um, in fight camp or like in the back before I'm about to walk out, like through
No,
fight camp.
both.
Okay, so
Mental.
through fight camp is a lot of like I'm playing the fight in my brain. I'll go meditate. If I start to get anxious about the fight, it's like, why am I anxious? I got to sit down and have this conversation with myself. Why am I anxious? Why am I nervous about the fight? Oh, because he's going to do this. He's going to try to take me down. Okay. What are you going to do when he tries to take you down? I'm going to get up. I'm going to fight the fence. I know what I need to do. It's just talking myself through it, playing the scenario in my head, understanding that it's okay. This is the fight game. Shit's going to happen, and you just got to roll with the punches, and so that helps me a lot through camp. Whenever I'm preparing, I do a lot of film study. I do a lot of self-talk. I got to try to remind myself who I am, how young I am, how much experience I have, how good I am at this game. And yeah, that really helps me through fight camp, like just checking all the boxes, showing up to training when I'm supposed to train, eating when I'm supposed to eat, go to sleep when I'm supposed to go to sleep, wake up when I'm supposed to wake up. It's the simple things, man. And then whenever fight night comes, whenever I'm in the back and I'm stressing about the fight, oh, I'm about to fight. I'm anxious. I'm feeling these feelings. I'm scared. You're supposed to be scared. It's okay. Just talking myself through it. Same situation. I'm meditating. You're supposed to be scared. It's okay. You're gonna get in a fight. These emotions, this feeling of like anxiousness. I'm scared. I don't want to lose in front of everybody I know and love. I'm gonna be humiliated. That's what makes me dangerous. That's what makes this right hand land. That's what KOs people. And it's like having a hot fire. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold it for too long, but you want to control it while you can. You know what I'm saying? You can cook a meal with fire, or you can burn your house down. And I've done both. You know what I'm saying? As an amateur, whenever I fought Ashton Kirby, the emotions just completely beat me. I completely lost to myself before I walked in. Walked in, of course, I lost the fight as an amateur, and it was just a big wake up experience. And yeah, ever since then, I feel like I've navigated the mental side and, just dealing with those emotions a lot better.
And George St. Pierre always said that it's like fear is like a very important thing, because when he's afraid of some fighter, he's training like 100%, and
Yeah.
he actually beat everyone. And also he mentioned like the visualization about the tough situation, like how to escape an armbar or this kind of thing. So I think that also the visualization is like very, very important for
It's
fighters.
huge. Yeah, it's huge. Some guys are good at it, some guys aren't good at it. And I feel like the guys that are good at it automatically have an edge on the guys that aren't.
And outside of fighting, what do you like to do in your free time?
I'm not really doing a whole lot right now, man. I mean, I play the game every now and then. I'm kind of a gamer. I keep it simple, I just train, I come home, I jump on the game a little bit. I spend a lot of time with my family. I feel like that's important. It's really important to me right now at this stage of my life. Is just like I'm the oldest of three. I have a little brother and a little sister, and well, they're not so little no more. They're moving out of the house and shit. But yeah, just trying to just spend quality time with my people, man, and just let them know that I love them. And I feel like those are the most important things for me right now. Is just like just trying to be there for my family, especially whenever I'm not training, like getting a hold of them, chopping it up. Cause I'm in Kansas City. They live an hour away right now. But like I said, I'm about to go to Colorado. So we're going to be 10 hours, 12 hours away. And it's kind of a stressful situation. So for me right now, I'm really big on just being there with my family and, trying to keep my relationships tight and let them know that I'm not gonna be gone forever. I'm just going to Colorado to train and chase this little dream I got. But yeah, man, I keep it super simple. I just game a little bit. I'm a foodie. I love coffee. I like to go sightsee in Kansas City and stuff. I got my dog right here, Poncho. I spend a lot of time with my dog. Like super super simple, man. I'm not doing too much. I don't really go out too much. I'm a homebody.
I think that the simple things are the best. So I
I
think that
agree.
is. And one last question. If you have like unlimited amount of money, and if you could start any kind of business, what you would like to start?
If I had unlimited money and I could start any business,
Yes.
oh, what am I interested in? Maybe I'd try to do like a coffee shop or maybe like a community garden type vibe, or like I'd try to like grow plants and stuff and sell the plants, sell like vegetables and stuff. That's stuff I want to get into whenever I'm a little older and I'm not thinking too much about this fight game, and all of my energy is going into like learning how to beat people up right now. And at heart, I'm not like a mean guy. I'm honestly like I'm a lover. I'm not really a fighter. But so yeah, something peaceful, man. Something chill. Something where I can like, not have to worry about like being an aggressive male all the time. Like yeah, I'd probably do a coffee shop or like a garden or fucking grow some weed or something, just something super simple.
So after ending your career, it can be like another life after MMA.
Yeah, man. I want to be like a homesteader, I want to have like a big garden at home, chickens, goats, cows, all that. I want to live on a farm. Maybe I'll be a cowboy. I always joke about being a cowboy after fighting, but I think I really enjoy it. Like I still like hard work and I still like I feel like hard work is just like makes me feel fulfilled as a person. So I'll always work hard at something, I just don't know what's going to come after fighting yet. I thought about like real estate, like taking money out that I make from the fight game and trying to like buy houses and flip them and like rent them out. And like that's really what the plan is. I guess that's a business too. That's really what my plan is to go to the UFC, make a bunch of money, buy houses, try to rent them out, try to start getting my passive income coming in. And yeah, that's all way down the road. The first order of business is getting as good as I can at the fight game right now. And so that's where my head is.
Okay, Gage. So many thanks for this conversation. I hope that we can see you in the UFC next year or maybe 2025, and
Oh, we
maybe
will.
you will get the bonuses, the ranked fighter, and you will go up fighting the like always the better fighters.
Yes, sir. It's gonna happen, man. Just gotta give me some time. I'm gonna get there.
Okay, thanks.